Have a chit chat with the chamber. Tell us all about your business. What's your future plans? Tune in when you can.
Thank you to our 2024 corporate sponsors, Cunis Auto Group, Lake Lawn Resort, Millennium, Prodigy Power, City of Delavan, Delavan Health Services, Steinbrink's Piggly Wiggly, Geneva 10, Simon's Realty Group, APG, Continental Plastic, Mercy Health, and a special shout out to Stream Dudes for recording our podcasts. Hello, welcome to Have a Little Chit Chat with the Chamber. We are really excited. This is our first podcast for 2024, and we are here with Al Buchholz, who is representing the Phoenix Park Bandshell, and we will get to him and some questions, everything that you want to know about this year's 2024 lineup and all that fun stuff will be coming up. But we are going to have just a couple announcements and some updates on what's been going on with the chamber. First, I would love to do a huge shout out to our 2024 corporate sponsors. It is Cunis Auto Group, Lake Lawn Resort, Millennium, Prodigy Power, the City of Delavan, Delavan Health Services, Piggly Wiggly, Simon's Realty Group, Geneva 10, APG, Continental Plastics, and Mercy Health Systems. We are so incredibly happy they have come alongside of us for 2024. Some of them were our corporate sponsors last year, and we've added a ton more, and I feel so blessed that they have come beside the chamber this year. So I just wanted to do a shout out to them. Here's their fancy dancy logos, and we appreciate them. A couple other things I want to talk about briefly is we just had our annual auction and awards last Friday, and it was tremendous. The community outreach was amazing. We received so many donations. It was overwhelming and so wonderful. One of the auction items, we did not do a live auction because we wanted to spread the love with all of the local businesses here in town. It's a donation from APG, Adams Publishing Group, and they have donated a small business website package, and it is up for bid online. You can go to 32auctions.com/DDLACC auction, and you can also get that link on our Facebook and in our newsletter. And it is an amazing package. It comes with 2 years of hosting, which alone is $1,400, updates, a new logo, a style guide. You receive ownership of that. It's really amazing. So just wanted to shout out to APG, all the donations. This goes to your chamber. And so this is part of the package. We would love for you to bid on that, or tell somebody that needs to have a website or needs their website redone or refreshed. This is an awesome auction item to bid on online, and it benefits your chamber. So we would appreciate that. Also, right around the corner is the market at Tower Park, and we are looking for sponsorships. So if you want to be a sponsor, please get a hold of me. We are looking for you. It's 15 weeks. We have a chamber area. We have awesome bands that come, not the big bands that the Phoenix Park Bandshell has. We have local bands that come out every Thursday, and so we would love for your business to come alongside and be a sponsor of that. And then also, I want to talk about Rev Up Weekend. You're going to say, what is that? I've never heard of that. Well, it is featuring our Cars Time Forgot car show. We're going to have a full weekend called Rev Up Weekend. We're going to start Friday night with a community street dance. Then we're going to have a parade and rally on Saturday. And what's super cool is we are partnering up with the Phoenix Bandshell and bringing our cars around the Bandshell. So you're going to have an amazing band that plays, and then you're also going to be able to see some amazing cars from the area. So we'll get into that. And then Sunday is the 19th annual Cars Time Forgot car show at Lake Lawn, where there's hundreds of show cars, there's vendor booths, and it really is a fantastic time just to hang out in the summer and to be able to see all these people's amazing vehicles. So those are the things that I wanted to talk about or get off my chest before we have a little chit chat with Al. That is now done. So now for what you really wanted to hear is you want to hear about Al. So I am blessed to have Al with us today. He is the VP and treasurer and also co-founder of the Phoenix Park Bandshell. And I would love to know a little bit more about you before we get into the nitty-gritty of the Bandshell. So tell us about you.
Oh, well, thank you for having us here.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate this so much. About me, I'm just a guy who lives behind the Bandshell and just happens to be part of it. Originally from Beloit, but interestingly, we loved as a family to come to Whitewater and Delavan, and there's a lot of history in there. I remember as a kid driving by Phoenix Park with the family and thinking, wow, what a cool little spot that is. And short of that, I came to Delavan in 1975 and as a math teacher at the high school.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And so, it all adds up.
Yeah, it does.
And from there, I went out and decided to follow a business route and worked for a computer company in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And from there, moved to a client in Lake Geneva who was a little gaming company.
Okay.
And I worked there for 10 years. They made Dungeons and Dragons.
I have heard of that game.
And,
my brother used to play that game.
lots of fun.
Yes.
There were lots of ups and downs with that. And from there, moved on and started a consulting company doing IT work.
Okay.
And I've been doing that ever since. And I get to work from my home now and look out and see the Bandshell and enjoy. But part of that was, that's kind of me.
Sure.
I've got family in the area next door and a couple blocks away. They love coming to the Bandshell. Got all my little grandkids love to come out and enjoy a great family environment. We're very happy that it's really catching on, or it's really caught on, and has become a staple. And I thought about the thought that each of my grandchildren, which are 22 down to 6,
wow,
their entire life has been the Bandshell. Because we're in our 18th year now, and so they were, even the oldest, were pretty darn young, and so it's always been there for them, and I think for a lot of people in Delavan.
Well, you're leading up to my next question, which is how did you become involved with the Bandshell? But I guess we should also say your history as a co-founder. Maybe it should start, how did you come up with this idea, and who was also the other co-founder? Yeah,
it kind of comes into what was the purpose and how did the Bandshell itself start. There was a basketball court and a couple things there, but the park wasn't used very well.
Okay.
And there was actually an element that was coming in and playing basketball from out of the city.
Okay.
That were undesirable.
Okay.
We'll say that. And so the city itself started to think about what can we do with that. And of course, I'm right across the street from it, so I could see all of this going on. And somebody from the city, far thinking, decided, gee, there's a history of a Bandshell. There's been other Bandshells that have been there, and we can talk about that more, and then what about the neighbors? What do they think about it? So they went around and talked to the surrounding people, including, myself, and said, we want your input on that.
That's
and
nice.
That ended up getting me on the Park and Rec Commission.
Okay.
And on the Park and Rec Commission, then we went through and designed the Bandshell, and built the Bandshell, and then the city was going to run it through Park and Rec. And the first year, they kind of tried and then realized how much work it would be to do it. And Casey Heimbach was on the committee with me, and we kind of talked about it and said, really what we need to do is have an entity that just focuses on the entertainment side of it. It's a beautiful Bandshell. The possibilities are great. And, if we set up a not-for-profit organization that its only job is to bring entertainment, people can know they can donate to it, they can sponsor, we can publicize it, and we can make it go. And then we just need a few volunteers to help out.
Just a few.
Yeah. So we kind of put it together, and it's grown slowly. And like I said, we're coming up to our 18th year now.
Wow.
And it's amazing the growth, even in the last 5 or 6 years. We've basically tripled from where we were back then. So now we, last year in 2023, we had over 35, no, that was before that. Last year in 2023, we had 42,000 combined attendance at the events. And I would kind of be surprised if we don't go over 50,000 in 2024.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. And like with anything, it depends on weather too, right?
We are weather dependent, and we have been blessed with good weather. 1 or 2 events a year, we have to scramble and maybe do something about that. But overall, it's really been nice.
And help me understand, so you start most weekends off on Thursday night with a Praise in the Park, is that correct?
Correct. Praise in the Park is where we have local churches come in and bring their music and perform. And we've been very lucky. That's always been successful. That was really the first part that was successful, because they all came in and played for free.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it was very enjoyable for audiences, and it was a very local connection. And then we've been working typically now Saturdays evenings. We have a performance pretty much every weekend from Memorial Day through the middle of September when Scarecrow Fest is there.
Yes.
We sometimes get a Friday night in, and 1 or 2 Sunday afternoons if we do classical music, and we bring in an orchestra.
Nice.
Lake Geneva Symphony is one, Turtle Creek Community is another one, and they'll sometimes play in an afternoon concert.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
Those are very enjoyable.
Yes, yes.
So we try to get a wide range of music and entertainment.
Well, we enjoy when we have our markets on Thursdays at Tower Park. When we're shutting that down, we can hear the music from the Bandshell on Thursdays. And so a couple times when we were done closing that down, I'd go down there and listen and be uplifted with the music on Thursdays. And it really is cool and a blessing. And to hear different groups come down from all areas of Walworth County. It's not just Delavan groups. I think there was a Lake Geneva church that was there the one time I was there. And so that's really neat that the community can get involved and you can just have a time of fellowship on Thursdays as well as the weekend.
Very true.
Yes. So obviously you are VP and treasurer, so you have a full board.
We do. We have 7 people on our board, and we split a lot of duties up because there's a lot of things to do.
Yes.
And they're all volunteers. We have approximately 18 to 20 additional people who help at each of the shows.
Okay.
Because there's one of the ways we raise funds is while it's free admission, if people want to become a friend of the Phoenix Park Bandshell, they can donate money, and we pass the bucket.
Okay.
Go around and
just like at church, you pass the plate.
Just like that, yeah.
Okay.
And then we also have concessions.
Okay.
And so we offer some food items, which are just amazing how much work Tom does with food, and it's very well received. And we now have picnic permits, so we can sell malted beverages and
Okay.
sodas, and that adds a level of comfort and is a great revenue source for us.
So you ask people to come down to the park and bring lawn chairs or blankets, and then they can buy food and they can buy beverages there. So you don't
Correct.
want people to bring food and beverage. You want them to buy the food and beverage?
The restriction we have is because of the licensing, the alcoholic beverages need to be purchased.
Okay.
Bring your own non-alcoholic, you can bring your own food if you want to have food.
Okay.
And, bring something comfortable to sit on, and we want to make it enjoyable for everybody. Our focus of what we consider success is the number of people that come in and enjoy the show.
Yes.
Fortunately, the monetary side of it has flown without becoming the main force that's driving us and determining what to do. We try to listen to people, their suggestions of what do they want to hear, what do they want to see, and then we measure it by how many people show up.
Sure.
And so it's a simple focus. Part of it is that there's really no way to have a ticketed event there.
Right. You'd have to snow fence off the whole area, and
Yeah. And it would make it.
that would be hard to do.
Yeah. But I've also experienced people in other areas, actually out of the country, who offer free events and just say, come in, I'll do something for you. And, if you feel that it's good for you, if you want to donate some money, that's fine. And actually, in talking to a couple of people who were doing that, they actually determined that they would get more money that way than they would by charging a set
Right.
admission and go from there. Because
Right.
people are very generous, and we've found that, if they're enjoying what's going on, they love to keep it going.
Sure.
So everybody's a friend and everybody's an owner, and it works well.
So how do you pick the bands? You just talked about how you listen to suggestions, and you get, I'm assuming that's the end of every year. You ask maybe in a survey, or how do you figure out what kind of music to go after for the next year?
We have constant communication with the
Okay.
audience. And, I'll walk around and talk to different people, and whether it's at the show or other times when we do our sponsorship drive, we like to hear from people what they want to hear.
Sure.
And like I say, we measure by how many people show up for something. So if that seems to work, then we tend to continue something like
Gotcha.
that.
Okay. So I
But
know
to
you.
get the bands. Interestingly, we've grown. The bands are a tight little community. They're all friends, and they come to the Bandshell and go, "Wow, this was really fun."
Good.
And then they tell their friends,
Sure.
when their band, you got to go play there. So a lot of times we don't find the bands; they find us.
That's nice.
Yeah, and it's wonderful because right now we have a list. We could probably go 3 or 4 years of shows with different bands that want to play that we can't fit in.
Right.
And then once you get into that deal, we find agents who will front for bands, and we're drawing bands from all over the country now.
Wow.
To come in and play.
That's
so
amazing.
They'll tour and say, we're going to be here in this region, this time frame. Can you fit us in? And Jim Beal is the main focus of of who decides. Jim and I and a couple other people talk about, let's do this band and this is good and stuff. And so it's amazing to how many people are contacting us.
That's
and
great.
saying, please, can we play?
Right. Because it can be daunting otherwise, I'm sure, to try to find a band. And are they any good? Do they have a following? So that's great that they're finding you. So at least you can look into them that way.
Right.
So tell us about 2024. I know you have a big fundraiser coming up in April. Tell us about that.
We started a few years ago having a fundraiser at Jonathan's on Brick Street, one of the great restaurants that
Absolutely.
we have. And Jonathan and Tiffany are strong supporters of the Bandshell. They love music. They love what we're doing. And they throw together a top-notch dinner for us. And their facility, of course, the restaurant is beautiful.
It is.
And then we bring in a good music group and have some auction items and just have a great fun evening. And it's our largest, has always been our largest fundraiser. We had done other fundraisers previously, and now we've kind of focused on that one. We may do another, but we find that there's so much work putting the shows on that we don't want to overburden and overstretch the ability of our volunteers. So we stay focused now on the shows.
Sure. So that fundraiser is April 21st.
April 21st, it'll run from about 4 o'clock till 10 o'clock. Includes dinner and a cash bar and fundraising, and there's 2 seatings for dinner.
Okay.
So you can come in and seat at 5 o'clock, or you can seat at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
But you can be there the entire time. The bar's open the entire time. The band will be playing, and we'll have a really good time.
And so how do people reserve their spot for that?
Well, you we're promotion through Facebook and our website.
Okay.
So if you go to Facebook and you've seen it, we just released that, and I'll be turning on the website this afternoon.
Okay.
So there's a ticket system that we use, and you will designate who's coming, which seating you want, and just gather a little information, and then all of that will go to Jonathan's, and they'll have the seating arranged for us. So it's pretty simple now. Just sign up, say you want 5 or 7, here's our money, and we're going to have a fun time.
Sounds good. Well, tell us about 2024. What exciting bands are you going to have? Can you share that with us?
Well,
it's not a secret, is it?
It might be still a little secret.
Oh, any hints?
Any hints? Well, some of the favorite bands are coming back.
Okay. I guess I already talked about which one's going to be for Rev Up Weekend. I already let the cat out of the bag for that one. A Supertramp tribute band.
We're looking forward to that event, with the
Yes.
cars, and I think it'll be outstanding.
Well, we appreciate you partnering with us on that.
Sure. The other thing we're doing is we're coordinating, usually the first weekend in June, the high school jazz band has Jazz in the Park. So we're doing more coordination with that show, and then having the Jazz in the Park in the afternoon, and then a group, the jazz ensemble from Elmhurst College is coming for a show that night.
Very nice.
And that'll be a lot of fun.
As a former alum of the music department, I think that's fabulous that you're having them out. That's super important, and is a great community feel to it as well, to bring the young kids out and their parents and put them on a big stage.
Right.
Very nice.
And the Britons will be coming back, and of course the Eagles, Leonard Skinner band, something about a ZZ Top tribute.
Wow.
A Long Way Home, a Supertramp, Foreigner, some country with Toby Keith. Fortunately, we've been able to get ABBA this year.
Oh.
And we couldn't get them scheduled last year, but they're always a crowd favorite.
I might have grown up with my brother listening to ABBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And if you're familiar with the Chicago band Seventh Heaven,
I've heard of them, yes.
they are a top-notch band. They'll be returning again. They put on a fabulous show. There's a Chicago Experience. One of our biggest shows ever was Hypnotized, the Fleetwood Mac tribute,
Okay,
and
yeah.
they'll be back.
Wonderful.
And of course, Prince.
I've heard great
Gabriel
things about that
Sanchez
show.
will be
We were
back.
out of town last year when that show, but I've heard nothing. Everybody said, you got to go to that show.
Don't miss that one.
I
Don't
think
miss
we
that.
were down in Tennessee for that show, getting my son at school. So we were out of town. I was really bummed to miss that.
All right, we'll let you go for last
All
year.
right,
but
this year, all right.
I don't want to hear those excuses.
Okay,
again.
all right.
All right. And we're going to finish off the year with the show that we had last year to finish off at Scarecrow Fest. And unfortunately, we had a little high humidity and a lot of wind and stuff, and the show got cut short.
Okay.
But it's a show called Radio Gaga.
Ah, yes.
And it's a fabulous show. I've went and viewed them last year before they came, and it was utterly amazing.
Yes.
You know, Lady Gaga and Queen tribute. It's a show not to miss.
Okay.
Whoa, it's
So when will the schedule be out and your wonderful posters up? And
probably by the end of the month.
okay, fantastic.
The posters, which, you know, is part of our, we have posters. This is the one from last year. And then we come up with a brochure, which lists our sponsors.
Yes.
And, of course, has the schedule on it. And so these will be out in a couple months, but the schedule will be online soon.
Wonderful.
And so you can start planning and setting those dates aside, and but the heck of it is it's like every weekend.
Yes.
is a top-notch show.
Well, that sounds wonderful. I know that it's definitely something that people talk about. I field a lot of questions at the chamber office about the Bandshell and the entertainment. So we love having that be in our backyard and being a part of the community. We appreciate all the sponsors that help put these bands on the stage and all of the people that come and help volunteer. Are you looking for more volunteers?
We can always use more volunteers.
And
We'd
what
like
does a
to.
typical volunteer do?
It varies. Most of them help at the shows.
Okay.
We could use a couple more in the back office kind of thing.
Okay.
So if there's people with skills with that,
Like what? What
You
do they
know,
do in the
singing.
back office?
well, all the office work. There's
Okay.
a lot of things to do. I'm processing payments and
Okay.
Tom does the contracting and all of those things.
Okay.
And one of our focuses is to plan for the future and have two people, someone who's a principal and a backup, in case there's an issue
Sure.
with things. So, and to bring in more youth into the group.
Okay.
Because we see this as a long-term process, a long-term group that's going to be there for many years.
Sure. Well, 18 years already.
18, yeah. but-
That's amazing.
yeah. Thank you.
That's wonderful. So, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience about 2024 or how people can get involved with the sponsorships? Do you have all of your sponsors figured out? Is there still some room?
Oh, there's still room. The sponsor process is going on through the end of the month.
Okay.
We've contacted as many people as we can who have sponsored before and or who have shown interest. The forms are needed are either available online
Okay.
at phoenixparkbandshell.com
Great.
or Phoenix Park Bandshell on Facebook.
Okay.
And we're probably about halfway through our fund drive now.
Okay.
We've got some great sponsors already, but there are a lot that come in the last week or two.
Sure.
But the deadline is March 1st.
Okay.
If you want to be as part of the print, that's what we need, and because we want to get that going, we want to get everything out, and we have over 1,000 people email that we email to as our e-newsletter.
Okay.
So that goes out typically during the season once a week, just reminders of what's this week and what's coming. But through Facebook and through the website, we get tens of thousands of hits. And with sponsorships on the website, it helps their presence on the web for your site. So if I have it automatically come up with ads and things, and so people get their SEO boosted quite a bit.
Absolutely.
From the website. So it's well worth the sponsorships, and we have literally a couple hundred people who help businesses and individuals that make donations. So we love the support that we get, and it is great for the community.
It's awesome for the community. It's a great talking point that, like I said, through Visit Delavan and also through the Chamber, we're proud to be partnered with you and proud to have this in our back door. And we love to be able to tell people about all the wonderful music that you provide to the summer and make people come to Delavan, not only locals, but people visiting. And so it's really a win-win for our area. And so we appreciate all the hard work that you do year after year, and all your volunteers do, and the sponsors that put their money where their mouth is. So that is absolutely wonderful. So if you're looking for a sponsorship opportunity that's going to last a long time through the summer and really is quite the gem to Delavan, this is definitely the place to look. So please reach out through Facebook and reach out to their website, the Friends of the Phoenix Park Bandshell. If for some reason that escapes you, you can always call the Chamber, and we will also get you pointed in the right direction. So we appreciate you having a little chit chat with the Chamber, Al, and he might be speaking at our members meeting coming up, and we are very fortunate to have you do that as well. So one more time, I really want to talk about our sponsors and basically just say a big old shout out and a thank you to our corporate sponsors, where we talk about sponsorship and we can't do it without them. And so Cunis, Lake Lawn Resort, Millennium, Prodigy Power, City of Delavan, Delavan Health Services, Steinbrink's Piggly Wiggly, Simon's Group, Geneva 10, APG, Continental Plastic, and Mercy Health. We thank you so very much and look forward to partnering with you for this brand new year ahead of us. So thank you so much. And if you are interested and want to have a little chit chat with the Chamber, you can certainly call me at the Chamber office, 262-728-5095, or send me a message, email, or even Facebook, and we will gladly hook you up. And it's painless, right?
Oh, so much fun.
Just a conversation.
Always good to see you.
Well, thanks. It's good to see you too. So thank you so much, and thank you for tuning in. Have a great week.